Betty suddenly discovered that her mother was not human, because every time she went out hunting, she would bring along an adult boar, yet she always returned home exhausted and empty-handed. When Betty asked about the boar's whereabouts, her mother would impatiently break things to avoid this sensitive topic. On this particular day, her mother once again selected a boar and prepared to set off. Betty followed her out of curiosity, only to discover that her mother wasn't heading to the hunting ground she claimed to visit, but instead was rushing toward a deserted castle. Just then, her grandfather suddenly appeared behind her and warned her not to forget to return home before dark. The next day, her mother returned empty-handed once again, but this time she brought back Betty's father, whom she hadn't seen for a long time. Seeing her father covered in wounds and in great pain broke her heart. Betty wanted to approach and ask about his condition, but her mother heartlessly locked her out. That evening, Betty quietly crept to her parents' bedroom door, hoping to eavesdrop on their conversation. However, her mother happened to come out just then, so she had to hide nearby. Only after her mother left did she quietly approach the door. As Betty peered through the crack to check on her father's condition, a blood-red eye suddenly appeared. She was terrified by this sight, but fortunately, the monster inside didn't come out. That night, she had a nightmare. In her dream, she once again came to her father's room, where he was lying face down on the bed, appearing to be in great pain. She curiously asked her father what he was doing, but unexpectedly, her father transformed into a beast-like creature and lunged at her. Fortunately, Betty woke up from the nightmare just in time. At that moment, she seemed to understand something. To verify her suspicions, she secretly took an oxygen tank and followed her mother when she went out. This time, she was determined to discover her mother's secret. Soon, her mother drove to a forest. However, what Betty hadn't expected was that her mother had also brought her father there. The two parents then carried a pig and walked toward the depths of the forest. To get to the bottom of this mystery, Betty quietly followed them, only to make an unexpected discovery. Her parents carried the pig into an abandoned castle. As the boar's screams echoed from within the castle, Betty soon followed the sound and arrived at an iron door, where she witnessed a disturbing scene.